players. Michael Myers is slow. He doesn't sprint. He isn't built to spend 10 minutes chasing one guy around a hedge. And if you go into Halloween treating him like a Dead by Daylight killer with a kitchen knife, there's a very good chance that Hadfield is going to beat the hell out of you. Because playing Michael looks like it's going to be much more about setting up the kill. Michael's always been a patient predator, stalking Haddonfield from the shadows and manipulating the environment until he can force the fight to happen on his own terms. And before we get into his abilities, I want to clear up two things that I keep seeing people get very wrong. Michael's job is not to spend the entire match hunting for human-controlled civilians. He has an entire town full of residents to terrorize, special targets worth hunting down, and a lot more going on than just 4-player hide-and-seek.
Okay.
And since it's been brought up many times in the comments, yes, Michael can absolutely be fought. A coordinated group can hurt him badly enough to put him on the ground. And if they have the right pieces in place, they can eventually detain him. However, the idea that 4 guys can simply decide to spend the entire match beating Michael around Haddonfield like he owes them money is leaving out a pretty large chunk of his kit. So let's start with what you're actually doing when the match goes on. Michael's hunting Haddonfield. The 4 civilian players, controlled by actual people, are part of that, yeah, but the town is also populated with NPC residents, and those residents count. Michael even has special targets marked during the match that are worth significantly more if he can find and kill them. That means chasing one civilian for 5 minutes can be a terrible use of your time. If somebody wants to run circles around the house while the rest of the town is escaping, let him run. Michael has other people to kill, and that seems like one of the first big lessons with this character. You need to know when to commit and when to disappear. Finding targets starts with detection pulse, and this ability has already changed since the PAX build. At PAX, it was apparently giving Michael way too much information, so IllFonic has since changed it so that if somebody is hiding inside a structure, the pulse can tell you that someone is in that building without handing you their exact location. So, you know somebody's home, but you're still gonna have to go find them.
Right.
And civilians
Just like
also
Jason,
do have ways
like
to work
Friday 13th.
around detection pulse, or find blind spots, which I do like.
I did see that. That with the little PAX gameplay. They had them like basically wall hacking. They was cheating in PAX. Bro, we forget that bitch wall hacking. That's Michael. You know, but use that ability to see where they hide them. They ain't hiding in houses. But they fixed that though.
Michael needs to have hunting tools, but I don't want the game handing him a GPS coordinates for somebody crouching behind the
It
avocado
need to be
green
scary
couch.
though.
He also has an ability called Killer Sense, and this is where Michael really kind of starts to feel like
But you
Michael.
want to look like
Killer Sense
Marathon?
puts us behind the mask in first person,
All right,
and from
Bungie.
there we can stalk individual targets. In the versions that we've seen so far, Stalk has 3 levels, and the further we build that target up, the more dangerous Michael becomes to that specific victim. The PAX build showed higher Stalk levels, making targets easier to track, harder to
It ain't
escape
that
from
dark.
Michael whenever they're grabbed, and considerably more valuable when
Honestly,
we
it's
finally
not that
kill them.
dark.
Fully stalked targets could also be tracked a whole lot more effectively. Now, keep in mind, there has already been tuning since that demo, so let's not go tattooing exact PAX numbers onto our forehead just yet, but the basic idea is pretty clear. Seeing somebody does not
your
mean
brightness
you
up.
immediately start chasing them. Sometimes, especially in the early game, the better move is to watch. And that's one part of Michael they seem to have absolutely nailed, because the movie version of Michael spends a whole lot of time doing exactly that, standing behind a hedge, watching from across the street, looking through a window like the world's creepiest neighborhood watch captain. Then, when you're ready to move, that's where Shape Jump comes in. Shape Jump is Michael's main supernatural traversal ability. He moves through the shadows much faster than he normally moves, and it lets IllFonic keep that slow, stalking Michael walk without forcing us to actually walk across Haddonfield every time somebody gets on a bicycle.
Right.
But there is a rule here that I really like. Michael needs darkness. IllFonic actually tightened this up after PAX because Michael could originally move through houses a little too freely. Now, if the civilian gets inside, locks the door, and turns the lights on, those illuminated doors and windows can block Michael from simply shape jumping straight through them. That gives the house some temporary value as a safe location. And lore-wise, I think that fits Michael pretty damn well. If the house is lit up like Christmas, Michael's probably not coming through the wall like the world's angriest Kool-Aid man. He works in dark hallways, backyards, and shadows. So now the civilian
Like
gets
the world's
inside, turns on the
angriest
lights,
Kool-Aid
buys a
man.
little breathing room. Okay, now Michael has another decision. Do I shut off the power? Is there another dark entrance? Do I leave and kill somebody else? Or did they forget to turn on the laundry room light? Because if they did, that's a mistake you can punish. And shape dash works alongside shape jump, and it gives Michael a burst of speed that he needs to cross distance pretty quickly. Again, he's never going to become Usain Bolt in Captain Kirk mask. Shape dash does give him the ability to cover ground while keeping the character himself slow when he's physically walking around. He also has shape slip, and this one's probably the most Halloween looking ability of the bunch. If Michael can see an appropriate hiding place, he can use shape slip to materialize inside it. Closets, sheds, even vehicles have been mentioned. And all three of these abilities do a lot of work to make Michael feel like the Michael from the movies. He can constantly keep showing up somewhere that he absolutely should not be.
Oh my God.
You saw him cross the street 10 seconds ago. Okay, well now he's beside the house and you managed to get inside. Suddenly he's gone, only for you to walk over to the closet. Fantastic. That's exactly the kind of thing that the movies have always done with him.
Yes,
you look
that
away
is
and
movie
somehow
accurate,
this 6-foot
bro.
murderer who walks everywhere has crossed half the neighborhood.
So that's the big thing. That's the thing. That's wrong. That's wrong. And they got me on here, shorty. They got me on here. I'm finna go get the green shirt. Day one. I'm gonna have this shirt on. How much you want to bet? They got me on here, shorty. That's me. That's Flexster. They put me in the game, shorty. The light shit kind of ass, but everything else valid. The light shit kind of ass, but it makes the game balanced. So Michael Myers ain't running around this bitch shape shifting everywhere, shape dashing everywhere and shit. Like damn, man, you dash everywhere. Nah, bro, that's kind of decent. And it's fair because he like what you shape dashing in the house for anyway. Like why is he shape dashing in the house? That should be like a bonus thing to do because you already got them in the house, right? Like it's a small space. They ain't like where they finna run. Especially if he just did this little new thing where he can like teleport into the closet. He can stalk them, figure out if they in the house. If they is, he can teleport in the closet. Like, bro, that is like open. What? That's scary as hell. So I just locked all the doors in the house and he didn't teleport it. That's crazy.
And Michael can help
Like
create
run
those
that back.
opportunities.
Right,
He can
run that back.
constantly they did. That's a mistake you can punish. And shape dash works alongside shape jump, and it gives Michael a burst of speed that he needs to cross distance pretty quickly. Again, he's
Shape
never going to
jump and
become
shape
Usain
dash
Bolt in
works
Captain
together?
Kirk mask. Shape dash does give him the ability to cover ground while keeping the character himself slow when he's physically walking around. He also has shape slip, and this one's probably
Shape
the most
slip.
Halloween looking ability of the bunch. If Michael can see an appropriate hiding place, he can use shape slip to materialize inside it. Closets, sheds, even vehicles have been mentioned. And all three of these abilities do a lot of work to make Michael feel like the Michael from the movies. He can constantly keep showing up somewhere that he absolutely should not be. You saw him cross the street 10 seconds ago. Okay, well now he's beside the house and you managed to get inside. Suddenly he's gone, only for you to walk over to the closet. Fantastic. That's exactly the kind of thing that the movies have always done with him. You look away and somehow this 6-foot murderer who walks everywhere has crossed half the neighborhood.
Bro.
And Michael can help create those opportunities himself with Blackout. Blackout has a lot more utility than simply shutting off a lamp. We've seen it interfere with house lighting, flashlights, and vehicles. Ilphonic even demonstrated Michael using it to slam an open door shut and temporarily lock it while a civilian was trying to escape. That's badass, man. I absolutely cannot wait to do that to somebody. So imagine, if you will, somebody gets inside that brightly lit house that we talked about just a minute ago. Now, for the moment, shape jump is being blocked. However, Michael fires off Blackout, the lights are going to die, and that opens Michael's roads back up. That's what I'm liking about what we've seen with his kit so far. Blackout kills the light that was blocking shape jump, and now Michael has somewhere to go. And we have another system feeding almost everything Michael does. Bloodthirst. Bloodthirst is a major part of his power curve. The exact balancing has already changed since PAX and could change again before launch. So take the detailed demo values for what they are, but Bloodthirst itself is absolutely a core part of Michael's design. In the demo build, Bloodthirst had 3 tiers, with each level taking progressively longer to earn. That final tier alone took up about half the meter, so getting Michael to full bloodthirst was clearly meant to take some work. And the PAX
As long as it
version
ain't darkest
rewarded
arc
that work
raiders.
pretty heavily.
Stella
Higher
Montez.
bloodthirst made Michael
We'll
harder to
be
stun,
alright.
improved his recovery,
As long as it ain't
increased his
darkest Stella
damage, and helped
Montez night
cover other
raid
parts
or
of his
punishment
kit.
raid.
So
Ooh,
early Michael is
used to
going to
be
be a
so
hell of a
dark.
lot easier to push around. If you
Red
stock
Stella.
properly, kill residents, and build him up, fighting you is going to get considerably uglier as the match progresses. Which brings us to the people who have already decided their Halloween career is going to consist of entirely forming 4-man hunting parties and trying to kick Michael's ass. Good luck.
Together,
you absolutely can fight him, and I for sure want that in the game. Michael gets hurt in the movies constantly. He gets shot, stabbed, knocked down, set on fire, beaten up, and somehow the bastard keeps clocking in for work.
I heard you can smoke in this game.
The problem comes when fighting the killer becomes so easy that everybody stops being afraid of him. Michael has quite a few answers for that. Bloodthirst is one, the weapons around Haddonfield are another. Michael can switch away from his knife and use different weapons he finds around the map, and IllFonic has now confirmed that his progression will even let us unlock different starting weapons and level those weapons through use.
I want the
PAX build already showed that Michael's weapon choice could change how he approaches a fight. Some gave him better reach or ranged options, while heavier weapons looked better suited for dealing with multiple civilians at once. Again, those are demo build observations, so I'm not going to tell you that a pitchfork does exactly X damage and will delete Lumas from 47 feet on launch day. But with all that, I've never wanted a squad to try and hunt me as a killer so badly in a game. Let's say 3 people are trying to hunt Michael and they have a gun, maybe 2. Be tactical. You don't have to play their game. Keep your distance and stalk them. Max your bloodthirst.
Talking about what I was talking about.
Suddenly, the guy who fought distance made him safe has another problem. Now you've got a ranged answer, and you're forcing them to fight Michael on your terms.
Right.
Once the first one goes down, the others very likely will scatter. And even if they don't, by that time, you've got bloodthirst on all of them anyway. So just repeat the process. A good Michael is going to be a patient hunter. And if they do manage to knock Michael down, he has reality tear. IllFonic has specifically talked about reality tear while discussing bully squads. We've already seen that ability in action in previously released footage, and color me impressed because that scene absolutely belongs in a Halloween film. And let's not forget, Michael always has one more option that I think a lot of people are overlooking. Leave. If 4 human-controlled civilians are running around together hunting Michael, then 4 human-controlled civilians are not spread across Haddonfield, saving residents and working objectives. Go somewhere else. Kill your special targets and then start wiping out NPCs. Force them to react to you. That's why I don't buy the idea that Michael is automatically going to be bully squad bait. If a Michael player spends the entire match letting 4 people dictate every fight to him, there is a decent chance that the problem is sitting somewhere between the controller and the chair.
In the chair.
Now, eventually, civilians
between
can
the
do something
controller
much
and the
bigger
chair.
than
I like
Michael
this dude.
They can detain him, and I actually like what IllFonic has described here. Detention is supposed to take repeated knockdowns. You need an authority figure involved, like a police officer or Loomis, and there's another detention step that has to be completed before Michael recovers. That should be difficult. Jason and Friday the 13th is probably the closest.
That's honestly, hold on, before you get into that, that's honestly the perfect strategy for trying to defend yourself. Because remember, I was just talking to y'all about this. I talked to y'all about this already. I said the only thing that's gonna make this game really continue and be long lasting is the players who's gonna be trying to come in and try to be the best Michael they can be. And try to I already said ego is gonna be getting tested because there's gonna be people trying to be the best Michael. It's gonna be these so-called, you call them bully squads, or just coordinated teams trying to kill Michael Myers. And that's kind of a flex if you can kill one of the best Michael Myers. He's been killing people every other match. You finally run into him and you kill him. It's or you can't kill him, but you detain him. It's ooh. But if you that's gonna be the tug of war of the whole game right there to me, honestly, bro. It's the people who can accomplish that situation of how are you gonna react when people are trying to kill you, Michael? Or detain you, Michael, or how Michael's gonna act when they are trying to detain him. So who's gonna win that fight? That's the biggest fight. That's the main event of the game to me personally. Cause escaping is one thing, but trying to detain Michael, that's just crazy.
comparison here. Jason could be stunned, knocked down, and if a coordinated group knew the process and had what they needed, he could actually be killed. And anybody who played enough Friday also remembers matches where Jason Voorhees, legendary supernatural murderer, somehow ended up looking like he accidentally walked into the wrong high school parking lot.
You can kill Jason, though.
Halloween still lets us put Michael on his ass, but actually sending him back to Smith's Grove.
Michael, he never got killed until like that little fucking dumbass movie came and Michael Halloween Ends. They just like erase those out of like history. Like putting Michael in the wood chipper is just crazy, bro. That would have been crazy to put in the game. Like that will be funny. They add that in the game later on. Like, I'll be pissed.
Will work. Michael can lose a fight, but actually capturing the boogeyman and shipping him back to Smith's Grove should feel like an accomplishment, and that fits the movies too. Michael gets put down plenty, but actually getting him restrained and sent back to Smith's Grove is a hell of a lot more rare. There's also still a chunk of Michael's launch kit that IllFonic has deliberately not shown us yet. They've confirmed there are additional ability options coming that will let us customize how we want to play him, along with Michael's specific progression and weapon progression. Overall, we know a lot about how Michael is going to need to be played, even if we don't have all the final details. And so far, I'm really liking what IllFonic has built. Still, I have two major concerns. Getting the balance right, and whether IllFonic actually stays on top of this after launch. There's going to be complaining no matter what. Michael mains are going to say that civilians are too strong. Civilian mains are going to say that Michael is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Somewhere on Reddit, a 14-paragraph manifesto is probably already being typed, and the game isn't even out yet.
Yep. And the game,
but the real test is going to start after launch. Once thousands of us get a hold of Michael, we're going to find ways to break stuff that
That's another tug of war. Like, are we going to be dealing with the developers trying to constantly like cater to like each side of the game? Like, you know, each side of the fan favorite sides. You know, it's people that really just want to play heroes and play with people in teams and coordinated teams and try to be bullies and shit. Then you're gonna have that Michael who just think he's the best Michael of all time, and he think he Michael Myers Jordan and shit. So like, like, you know, it's like, man,
internal test ever could, and for one, IllFonic is going to have to stay on top of balancing it whenever that does happen. They have absolutely dropped the ball when it comes to handling balance and long-term support with Killer Clowns from Outer Space and other games that they've developed and worked on. Dare I say, their support for many of those games has been absolute garbage. Halloween cannot afford to repeat that. Halloween is by far my favorite horror franchise. And quite frankly, if they screw this up, I'll never touch another IllFonic game again.
I won't.
But judged purely on Michael's design right now, I think they've done a pretty good job. He looks faithful to the 1978 version of the character. His movement and the darkness mechanics make a whole lot of sense. Civilians can fight back to some extent, and the tools that we've seen give a good Michael player several ways to punish somebody who gets too cocky. Now I want to see what happens when all of us maniacs actually get our hands on him. Because on paper, this is one of the most interesting ASIM killers I've ever seen. And if you want to know why, I think Michael could actually fix one of the biggest problems ASIM horror games keep running into. I'm going to put that video up right here. Go check that one out next.
Yeah, they might have found the problem with Halloween. I mean, like with ASIM games, like when Halloween come out, like they might fix that problem. That tug of war between each side wanting to be like OP than the other, or one side need to get nerfed. Like one first side, the killers need to be nerfed, and then the survivors gotta get nerfed, and the killers get nerfed, and the survivors get nerfed. Like it's like they just like had the perfect balance. It's like DVD has some good balance in, but it's not great. But it's fair enough for you to get wild though. Like if you want to get wild on DVD, you can get wild with at least most killers. Like, that's a big problem is we don't need a game to get still. Like we need y'all to like just like annually update the game, bro. Like how can you not just annually update the game? We need y'all to do this for the love of Michael, bro.
If you enjoyed the conversation, hit that like and subsubscribe. And if you want to help support the channel, memberships, Green Man Gaming, and affiliate links to all my favorite gear is listed down below. Until next time, survivors, God bless, be safe. I'll see you guys in the dark.
Fleshowski. Yeah, but there you have it. Michael Myers is more dangerous than he looks. With the comments.
Michael Myers in Halloween, the game plays differently from...
Okay, survivors. Michael Myers is slow. He doesn't sprint.
Let me see the comments, though. like to play a kill. They actually look fear. They actually fear. Elementary Friday, I mean Halloween. Michael is virtually unbelievable, and I love it. Finally, been the game that puts survivors into a legit survivor situation. And Dead by Daylight killers are running between gens so they don't get rushed within first 13 minutes with life support strapped on their back. Behavior stupidly decided to make Survivor's power roll is a horror survivor game. Halloween got things perfectly right. I can't wait till September. They might have did. That was a good comment.